Aloha, everybody, and welcome back to Jungle Land 805 here on YouTube. Today I'm going to talk to you about this half-moon shaped planter that I have in my front yard and how I took my front yard from this to this. It's a D-shaped planter or half-moon shaped planter that is about 15.5 feet long and 9 feet wide at its widest point. It also has about a 4-inch border around it, concrete border that kind of resembles a curb. When we moved in, it still had the landscaping from the previous owner, which means it had white roses in it, and that was pretty much it. What we've done is we added our own flowers after removing the roses, and then at one point I added a whole row of African boxwoods to the side along the driveway. I'll have to say that even with our planting that we did, it was pretty structured and bare in most spots with little focal points of flowers. So if you've been watching my channel, you know that I pretty much went tropical in the backyard in 2011. Well, it came time to go tropical in the front yard as well, at least in this part of the yard in this planter here. So in 2015, I decided to plant some palms that I got from my friend Jamie. I got a few Archontophoenix cunninghamiana and some Kentia palms from him. He gave me a really good price. I got them all for like 50 bucks. After planting the palms, I decided to go in and install a small pond, which required, digging, making a hole for it, dropping it in there. And I also decided to put in some bromeliads and stuff. And since I was having problems with gophers at that time, they were actually eating my bromeliads from the bottom. I went ahead and put lava rock, hoping to keep the gophers from digging up through the bottom and eating my bromeliads. It was about this time that I decided that the boxwoods needed to come out because I was going to be planting more bromeliads, and I didn't think the boxwoods matched the tropical motif. I decided since I wasn't having an issue with the gophers anymore, I thought it would probably be better to go with mulch with the bromeliads, so I did that. And take a look at this video I did back then of when I took the boxwoods out and started adding more bromeliads.
So all along here used to be those African boxwoods. They took them out, and that exposed some of my bromeliads, and I moved some around the yard to add some others. So that's what I was doing, pulling out the African boxwoods. Now these will fill in here. These will do just fine. I think basically just moved from parts in my yard that were getting a little crowded anyway. So those were already there. All of this here is new. That palm is not new. That is not new, that is not new, and the Neo Martin is not new. All of these things up here are new, and those little bad boys back there and there and there are not new.
So instead of roses or daisies or boxwoods, I have now converted this to palms, bromeliads, tillandsias, and also a few other things like the giant bird of paradise and the bird's nest fern. One of these bromeliads, as you can see, goes back to the very early days. It is the Aechmea fasciata that's kind of planted right in the middle of the planter, and it's gone through several generations of pupping and blooming. Another one that's been out here for almost as long as I converted this over to tropicals is the xerographica, the Tillandsia that I have out here. And I've had several friends tell me, someone's going to pick that up and steal it because it's like 2 feet away from the sidewalk, and it's obviously not attached to anything. Those don't really grow attachment roots that well. So it is still there after all these years. So this all happened in 2015, where I planted the palms installed the pond, started planting bromeliads, and I even put a little spillway on the pond once I added the filter. But in 2016, disaster struck when an elderly gentleman drove through my front yard, took out a few of my palms, and crashed into the back of one of my Land Rovers. Some of the palms did not make it, and my Land Rover ended up being okay, but that guy's car completely smashed. It was done. In addition to taking out some of my palms and bending the back bumper on one of my Land Rovers, the guy actually crushed my water main coming into the house. So over the next several months, my water bill started to go up and I started to get a very soft spot in my yard. They were able to determine that it was related to the accident, and they happily paid to put in a new water line for me. In addition to continuing to plant bromeliads, I also got some cool lava rocks from a neighbor across the street. So I added those in just kind of as some structure and interest. And it also gave me a place to attach Tillandsias to as well. As the Archontophoenix and the Kentia palms started to grow, thought I would add something with a little bit different texture, maybe some more interest. And I went ahead and ordered a Beccariophoenix alfredii, otherwise known as the High Plateau's Coconut Palm from Madagascar. And when I got it, it was really small. I mean, it came in the mail. It was in a small little package. It was a seedling only about 7 inches tall, I would say. And so I added that to this area as well. All of the palms have continued to grow and flower, and actually they've gotten pretty tall in these 10 years if you take a look at them. The alfredii is probably the slowest growing of all, but it too is continuing to produce very large leaves, and I think it's going to add something really special to this planter one day. The pond, I know it's small. It's actually more of a water feature at this point. I have tried fishing it, but I have a family of raccoons that come through here every morning at about 4:30 in the morning and take a drink from it. They scoop out any fish that I ever put in there and eat them. Sometimes the raccoons tip over the filter and it squirts the water out into the planter and drains the pond. And I've had to deal with that actually more recently. As you can see, the palms have also given me a place to attach more Tillandsias and bromeliads, which I think look kind of cool. It gives my yard a pretty wild, exotic look, don't you think? I know the palm trees are going to grow up and pretty much leave the ground level pretty bare, just having their trunks there. So I've started to add in a few other things. I've put some cycads in, although they're still very small at this point. I've put in a bird's nest fern, and I've also put in some giant bird of paradise, which will fill in those areas that are going to be left bare as the palm trees grow taller. Overall, I've been very happy with the transformation and the evolution of the space. And it also gave me another area to put more tropicals and palms, which I love. One of the things I did plant out here was this Tillandsia secunda, which you can see is blooming and producing pups as well. On one of my videos, I'm still doing the giveaway. I'm going to run it up until the time that these little pups are ready to pull off and mail out. So a quick note here, if you like palm trees, tropical gardens, things like this, be sure to subscribe and go back and look through some of my other videos. I've done some great garden tours, and I have some more coming up here very soon in the future. So remember to subscribe and keep watching those videos. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed seeing the transformation on this spot over the years and its evolution. And we'll see you again next time here on Jungle Land 805.